Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
Ahoy! Let's go! We're waking up Chicago. Turn up the radio. It's time to start the show. On Q101 with the morning crew. Ahoy! Let's go! Welcome to the morning show.
Let's go. And I don't want to start off by scaring anybody, but Ann in Oak Forest checked in and said, did you just say a little while ago that the pumpkins for Q101's Twisted Christmas is sold out already? Now, the pre-sale for the pumpkins has sold out. That is a fact, Ann in Oak Forest and all of the people of Oak Forest. I've told you, and we said this from day one when we announced Q101's Twisted Christmas on Tuesday morning, cannot stress enough to get your tickets now. So tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., the general on sale, there will be Pumpkins tickets available, very limited. So you have to, be right there at 10 a.m. and try to get them so you can get into the Aragon for Q101's Twisted Christmas Night 3 with the Smashing Pumpkins. There's some other shows left here that are all selling as well, and the pre-sale ends tonight at 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. tonight. So Cage the Elephant Night 1 with Franz Ferdinand. And I got to tell you, I've fallen into a Franz Ferdinand wormhole. That is such a great show because obviously Cage is Cage. We know what they are. They're opening for Oasis. You'll never see them in the Aragon again.
Well, this is your chance to probably have the most intimate show you're ever going to have with them again in their career.
Yeah.
This is it.
And you got almost Monday on that bill too. And then Wednesday, somebody said this to me in the hallway, and it feels like that. Wednesday's kind of like a mini festival.
Yes.
It's very funny because you get the All-American Rejects, the main, Andrew McMahon with a special solo performance, and Dexter and the Moonrocks. That's like a festival lineup right there for one night at the Aragon.
It's going to be a night. It's going to be a night. There's a lot going on that night.
And that's only night 2.
I know.
Night 3, of course, the Smashing Pumpkins, AWOL Nation, Bad Flower, and that is sold out in the pre-sale. Again, tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., you can go to the general on sale and try to get in those tickets. And then Friday night is the one we just kind of cap off and let loose and let's freaking go night. That's Bush with Bishop Briggs and Palais Royale. And that is going to be the night that Case has been witness over the many years he's been around me of how I act on the last night of Twisteds.
Some would say you, that last night of Twisted, you act a fool.
That's a very nice way to say it.
What do you want me to say?
Wasted.
Degenerate, scumbag.
I remember saying a couple things about Brian last year that I cannot say here.
Yeah.
We took an Uber home, Brian and I did, from the Gaslight Anthem Young the Giant last year, and Brian was on one. And then 2 years before that, 2021, God, who did Twisted close with that year?
Was that the Chevelle Rise Against night?
It was.
Yes.
It was because you, me, and our mutual friend Ted
Yes.
took an Uber from the Aragon to the Cubby Bear after Rise Against that night, and Brian started lamenting about his childhood, and it was a whole big thing in the Uber.
Okay, well, when I drove him home last year...
Everybody's got a Brian Friday Night Twisted story. I'm sorry.
You should have seen him house shop on the drive, and he was pointing out houses that he was interested in. Want to know whose homes they were? Cubs players. And he was being for real. I'm like, probably not going to be available for you. I got to be honest.
I completely forgot about that conversation.
Oh, yeah, you're like, I
No.
I'm like, okay, well, those are not, you're not going to be able to buy that.
No, I can tell you whose it was. It was John Lester's former house.
I guess John Lester.
And I walked by it a lot, and I looked it up on Redfin, and it last sold for $3.7 million.
Oh, right in your ballpark.
Yeah.
And I remember being hammered talking to Kenzie, if I really grind, and maybe I can drive for Uber on the weekends.
If DraftKings likes me just enough.
Yeah, I can get that house. I remember saying to her that's the house also. So after they clinched the pennant to go to the World Series, Eddie Vedder came back there and performed on his balcony. And that's the balcony right there. Let's stop and look at it. And
get out of my car.
She's like, I still have to go to Elgin from here. Please, get out of the car.
Stop stop pointing out homes and what happened on the balconies.
That's what that final night of Twisted with Bush and Bishop Briggs and Palais Royale will be. And you need to get tickets for that because Friday night is it.
You should get your tickets for it at Q101.com right now. But also, I think we need to set up an experience where one lucky, and I use lucky in quotes, listener gets to take an Uber ride with the three of us at the end of Twisted on Friday. We'll just go like a block north, but somebody else has to experience that.
Maybe we can even we're going to talk to Gavin Rossdale of Bush at 9 o'clock today.
That's right, live on the show.
And he loves food so much, he has a cooking thing. Maybe we can get to go get food with him afterward.
I don't think he's going to want to do that.
We should treat
Let's
Brian.
ask him that at 9. We'll ask him that at 9.
We'll treat Brian kind of like a mouse, and let's just put a GoPro on him, and we'll just watch it the next day. We'll post the video footage.
Oh, boy. Ann in Oak Forest, boy, did you open a wormhole today about Twisted and the memories that come back. I got to say, okay, one more analogy.
All right, we have to go to a commercial break, but give me one more.
So, Bush, Friday night, Q101 Twisted Christmas. You know what that's going to be like after all the week of 3 other shows? It's like when you have a house party and you're watching, maybe it's Super Bowl party or whatever, and everybody leaves, and then you're there and you go, well, now I can drink. That's what Friday night's like.
If you're going to sit here and lie and pretend that you're not wasted by the end of your Super Bowl parties.
I've been to your Super Bowl parties.
Liar.
You were drinking.
I understand. But when
Megan, you see, she's actually hosting.
Yeah, so when everybody leaves, there's that leftover food. I'm like, well, I'm going to eat all this. I'm going to drink every last drink, and then me and Megan are going to have a little private time. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm in the mood.
And that's your reasons that people should buy Bush tickets?
100%. That's Friday night. That's the last night of Twisted Christmas. That's what that's like every year. So just get a ticket and just be here. Now, in the meantime, coming up here in just 7 minutes, we'll get you in the running to go to Coldplay in Vegas. How's that?
Fun.
How's that? Well, we'll explain it here in about 7 minutes.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Time for a fact that makes your brain go. And a pretty wild one today with a 78-year-old British man who just passed away. Is just the second recorded case of someone with blank, something weird on their body. You got to fill in the blank. And they only found this out when he died. So no one knew while he was living that he had this incredibly bizarre thing on his body or his body was configured a certain way, but no one knew. So do you want to guess on this one, Kenzie, what it could have been?
I think he was one of the first real Pinocchios, and his nose would get bigger if he lied.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
I need to be very careful, you know.
I will not tell you if you're right or wrong. Case, do you have a guess on this?
I wonder, this is used metaphorically all the time, but I wonder if he had an actual third eye and he was able to see things that most humans can't see because they're blind, whether it be to consumerism or the evils of the world, but he had a real third eye. A lot of people say, open your third eye, look at the conspiracy, but he just had an actual one.
All
You
right.
think he just kept it closed, like his eyelid?
Oh, I wouldn't. If I had a third eye, I'd be peeping all day.
Like he had some kind of makeup on or something. People, no, that's just a scar.
Yeah.
You know,
I had an accident. I don't want to talk about
he
it.
had to keep that eye closed for 78 years, that third eye. It finally opened up when he died.
That'd be so tough if he wore contacts. He'd have to order just more than the average person. That would really suck.
I wonder if they pay more for LASIK.
Yeah.
If he had a third eye.
Absolutely. Well, if he went to our friends at Sharp Vision, he probably wouldn't. But,
Oh.
any other LASIK company, you probably have to pay more.
All right, so we'll give you this fact in 6 minutes. A British man, passed away at 78, and they found out something incredibly bizarre about his body. And no one knew while he was living, and we'll give you that in 5 minutes.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
All right, time for a fact that makes your brain just go. Now, we talked about a 78-year-old British man who he just passed away, sadly. Rest in peace. Pour one out. He's the second recorded case of someone having this weird thing on their body, and they only discovered it when he died. Kenzie thinks he was the real Pinocchio, and his nose grew. And so when he died at the end, it just shot up.
That would be, by the way, such a green flag for me. I would love if I would have met a guy whose nose grew when he lied. I'd have been very into that.
It seems like it'd be good for both sexes, actually. I'd like, because I'd like to see that too. It'd be great to have some kind of pure indicator.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
nice, right?
Yeah.
I wish that happened.
They used to say that when someone was talking to you, if they looked up, now I'm trying to remember which direction. If they look to the left or right.
Usually if they avoid eye contact, they say, like if they look away.
But if you look a certain way, you're accessing the creative part of your brain. So if you look up, like if they're saying something, look to the right or the left up, that's when they're lying. I used to be an interrogator for the Chicago police.
Well, you didn't remember what direction they had to be looking.
You could Google that and find out very easily.
I'm finding it right now.
That's when you're accessing creativity, and that's when you're lying. It's not that. I'm sorry, Kenzie. Case had a third eye that opened, it kept closed for 78 years, and no one noticed until he died when it opened when he died.
Well, the autopsy.
I really wish that was right. The real answer to what this guy had, the weird thing on his body that they only discovered when he was dead, is 3 penises. So, 78-year-old British guy passes away. Doctors only found out after he died, and he donated his body to science.
Well, that adds up.
That he had 3 penises. Now, don't you think, this guy lived in the OnlyFans world.
Yeah.
He could have made the last, I guess, let's say 5 years, millions of dollars, right? Millions.
Maybe that's not what he wanted to do with this.
Well,
He didn't want to disgrace his peni.
Well, it's actually what it's called, Kenzie, is triphalia. As diphalia is having 2 penises, which is also rare, but he had triphalia, which only 2 people.
The word fail being in there tracks.
Yeah, failure. Well, that's like the technical term for penis. Phallic.
Failure.
Phallic. Whatever. It depends on who you're with. So they found this out. Now, here's the problem, though, that would have ruined the OnlyFans situation.
What?
Only one of them was normal. The other 2 were internal and non-functioning.
Oh.
So he had 2 penises inside his body that didn't move.
That really, so he didn't even know he had them? The other 2 were in his body?
I believe he knew. Let's see. They only found out about it after he died. He was 78, donated the body to science. It doesn't say whether he knew or not. But
Because they were inside, so you couldn't see them?
But maybe he had an X-ray sometime in his life, and they go like, "You're not going to believe this."
Yeah. What did you have for lunch?
That's tough.
Do you think he'd be bummed out if he saw the X-ray and the ones that were on the inside were better than the one he has on the outside? He was hoping he could do a switch.
You can use the word bigger.
Bigger, yeah.
You said the better
Bigger
penis
is
is
always better. It's not. Depends how you use it and what you do.
Is that right?
Or don't do, things like that.
Is that a fact?
Yes.
Or is that just being nice?
No, it's a fact.
Is that just being nice?
You could be useless. You could be a starfish.
Well, again, it sounds like you're being nice in men's situations when they didn't have something, you know.
Sometimes it's just more work. That's what I thought of. You said 3 penises, and I'm like, oh, God. Do you think, like, each one needs its own special time?
Well, that's tough with...
What a project.
Yeah, that's tough with 3, because 2, you could have fun with 2. If there's a third one
Case, could you have fun with 2 penises?
I think I could.
Yeah, I think you could too.
But
I believe in you.
A third one really raises the question of, what do we do here? What is this?
That's how I would feel. In the middle of the night, I'd be like, not right now. Woody the Woodpecker over here. I do not have time.
Listen, we got to go to Jewel and go shopping in the morning. I don't have time for this. This is too much. This is clearly too much.
What's going on over there?
Only the second recorded case ever. The man with 3 penises. I'll pour one out for him today because he's gone.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. So many free opportunities at Q101 Twisted Christmas tickets today at 7:10 and Clash with Kenzie for night 1 with Cage the Elephant. Ticket Blitz Thursday at 8. We'll have also tickets for that same show, Cage the Elephant night 1 with Franz Ferdinand. And then at 9, we will have not only Gavin Rossdale of Bush on the show talking about night 4, but we'll have night 2 tickets for All American Rejects. And pretty much a whole festival night. You can go to Q101.com right now to see the lineup and get involved. Now, this will go down, I believe, as the great Chicago pizza disaster of 2024. We all love our pizza here, but this involved Rosati's, which I think occasionally when I see a Rosati's location that they don't get enough play, enough respect in Chicago as far as a pizza establishment.
Okay.
And this story, I learned things about Rosati's that I didn't know. I've had Rosati's. It's delicious. It's great pizza. And it's one of the iconic Chicago pizza chains, of course, which is why they, on Tuesday, had a $3.50 pizza deal. This is from WGN's website to celebrate the 60th anniversary. You know, we were going to talk about this on Tuesday, but with all the twisted Christmas announcement stuff, it kind of got pushed aside because there was so much to talk about. And now I guess in a way I'm glad I didn't at the time.
Well, you could have been part of the problem.
I could have been upsetting some of our crew members who discovered this, and that's how I kind of came across all of our timelines. So they announced they're going to revert back to 1964 pricing Tuesday for the anniversary celebration of a 2-topping large pizza for $3.50. Great price.
That's the steal. That's what I'm talking about.
Here's where the story goes awry. Several locations were participating in this deal. Not all of them, and none in Chicago.
None in Chicago?
None. It's a Chicago pizza place.
Wait, what location was it at?
This is what led me this morning at 4 in the morning to look that up. First off, I had no idea that Rosati's Pizza had 200 locations across the country.
Oh.
I thought they had like 10 around Chicago.
Yeah, that's...
Turns out they're in Colorado.
Across the country.
They're in Florida. They're in Indiana, which is, our area, but Kansas, Maryland, Nevada, Tennessee, Texas.
Okay.
I had no clue. And in fact...
they're from Chicago. Am I wrong about that?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, their headquarters are in your hood in Elgin.
Oh, there you go.
That's where the headquarters are.
You think the headquarters would have had the deal, no?
Maybe. They didn't. And actually, going back into the 90s, they were the 4th biggest pizza chain in the country after Pizza Hut, Domino's, and Little Caesars.
Wow.
I had no clue about this. I thought Rosati's was just a couple stores around Chicago, and that's it. I don't know how I didn't know this stuff. So none in Chicago had this deal, which is very confusing. If you're a Chicagoan and see Rosati's is celebrating 60th anniversary, have a special pizza deal, it's not at my local Rosati's. I don't know who made that call to not do that. And here's the story continues.
Yeah.
They posted on their social media around 3:30 that day, ending the promotion. Our 60th anniversary.
At 3:30?
Yeah. Yeah. It's the 60th anniversary 1964 pizza promotion has come to an end. Your support has been both overwhelming and humbling. If you missed it, don't worry. There's another anniversary promotion right around the corner. In the picture, they said they had a breadstick deal coming soon for 64 cents.
That's also a super deal.
That's outstanding.
All you have to do is drive to a different state.
And that's the problem. I love their pizza, and I obviously love their breadsticks. And then many people took to social media to comment negative experiences surrounding the deal, of course. They said some online orders weren't being fulfilled, waiting for them, and stores listed as that the promotion, they said, we're not participating. Like, they go to their store and they weren't participating. As we see in the Chicago locations, we're not participating.
Well, raise your hand if you were participating. Which the hell store was doing it?
Very confusing.
Did they find, one location in the middle of nowhere so they wouldn't lose a bunch of money?
Yeah, it's so confusing. Now, the CEO, Jeff Rosati, so the family member, said that they're reaching out to people that were unable to pick up their placed orders, and here's what he said. The Rosati's family and franchises are grateful for the overwhelming response to the 60th anniversary pizza promotion. Each participating location prepared thousands of promotional pizzas, with many already reaching maximum oven capacity by noon. Due to the long lines at some locations, some customers were unable to pick up their orders. Rosati's deeply values its customers and is proactively reaching out to those affected to make good on the promise. But that doesn't answer the question on why the ones in Chicago didn't have a deal. I don't get it. I feel like maybe they were just busy and someone just said, we'll have it. And maybe Jeff Rosati, a CEO, busy guy, said, you guys take care of it. And then somebody at the store said, we're not doing that. I don't understand. I don't get that. I will find out. Case will investigate.
Do you know how high rent is in Chicago? We're not doing that.
I know. Case, he did solve the problem of calling Applebee's, if you remember, and solving that great problem.
I did. I called Applebee's. I called NASA. I've had a very busy year on the phone.
Think about that.
And I think I'm really going to have to dive into this issue because we all have friends on Facebook, whether you're participating in this event as a consumer or just as a spectator. Man, did it seem like everybody was affected by this in some way, shape, or form. And for that, I'm disappointed in Rosati's for not being able to hold up their end of the bargain.
We just got a text from Meg in Bolingbrook, and it said the one in Bolingbrook did it, but their phone lines went down and their website crashed.
It's like when we have 21 Pilots tickets.
It's the same thing.
The Rosati family...
It also sounds like they were getting murdered, like their phone lines got cut or something. It's scary.
The Rosati family should have called us because we're used to this kind of traffic.
That's right.
When you give away stuff, we know how to do this. The next time you guys do a promotion, please work with Q101 on this, because we can handle millions of people calling you at the same time and wanting something, and know how to diffuse people that are mad.
And maybe send us some pizzas, too.
That'd be nice,
I
too.
know. Listen, their website's crashed. Things are falling apart. We're not getting a pizza. They can't handle that.
I mean, again, I reiterate, Rosati's pizza is delicious. And those breadsticks, I'm a fan. So I'm upset this happened to some of our listeners who put this out there. And I just don't understand that process. Just answer that question. Why did some locations not do it? Now, people are texting in, of course, some are franchised. The one by me in Cherville isn't. I bet that's why. And I get that. But if you're under the Rosati's umbrella, I think you have to be able to override people and say, this is a deal we're all doing together. Why wouldn't you do the deal?
Yeah, be a team player at the very least.
Yeah, if you're individually owned or whatever, why wouldn't you do the deal to bring more people to your restaurant, especially in a time when people are struggling, and give them a $3.50 pizza for one day?
Listen, they saw those lines. They saw the websites crashing. They saw the phone lines going down. And that 16-year-old said, no, thank you.
Some kid went on their website, we are not participating. Just typing it out in this deal. Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
I'm going back to Fortnite.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, listen, I hope if you got screwed somehow, it's going to work out. They seem like they're pretty good people, and they will honor all that situation. If Rosati's, anybody that works there in the company wants to call and explain that part, please hit us up, 312-591-8300. We love your pizza. And it seems like things just went awry here. And we can help, because Q101's used to that, of having a great prize and everybody wanting it. Here's Go Curtis with your headlines.
This is not headline news. Oprah stopped the release of a documentary about her, so whatever secret she's trying to hide will remain that way until she marries Gail. On players celebrating a play with finger gun gestures. But it won't be a problem for Browns players, since there's never a play worthy of a celebration. Police in France and Italy busted a gang that sold fake vintage wine for $16,000 per bottle. The biggest takeaway is that it sure would be nice to live in a country where the worst crimes were wine-related. And Kevin Spacey was photographed riding a horse for his new movie. It's a Western called Butch Cassidy on the Sundance Kid. This is not headline news.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.